Okay, we're back again. We're going to be solving multi-step inequalities. You're probably not laughing out there because my students don't even laugh at that either. I'm the only one who finds it entertaining, but I do it anyways. I'm hoping that somebody will. With that said, I've got two inequalities that I want to solve here, and it's basically the same thing that we did before, except it's, two steps as opposed to maybe one step. So I've got 3x subtract 4 is less than 8. And I want to get x by itself. It's the same objective. Well, if it was an equation, you do the same thing. Everything without an x moves on one side. What you do on one side, you do on the other. And the only difference is if you divide or multiply by a negative, then you switch the inequality sign. Not if you subtract or add, but if you multiply or divide. So that's always something to keep in mind. So for this one, I actually have to add 4 to both sides first. (3x is less than 12). Divide by 3 on both sides because that's 3 times x is less than 12. X is less than 4. Go ahead and draw yourself a graph. Actually, I should say a number line because it's really a number line. 4. There's not a line underneath it, so it's open circle. If there's a line underneath it, it's closed circle. Sometimes students lose points on that. I know because when I grade it, sometimes I'll be sympathetic, but most of the time I'll mark it off. But if it's, if it happens once, maybe I'll just let it go one time. But most of the time, I'm a little strict about that. My arrow's saying, hey, go to the left. So that's where I go. Next one reads, 5x minus 8 is greater than 3x plus 14. So everything with an x goes on one side, everything without an x goes on the other. But before you do that, make sure you can't combine like terms on each side of the inequality. 5 X-Men and 8 people, sorry. Gambit, Wolverine, Rogue, Storm, Cyclops are way cooler than 8 people. If it was Jubilee, I'd put her. I wouldn't make her an X-Men. Anyways, so I'm going to go ahead and put all my x's on one side, put everything without an x on the other. Subtract 3x from one side. 5x minus 3 X-Men is 2 X-Men. Minus 8 is greater than 14. Add 8 to both sides. 2 times x is greater than 22, Emmitt Smith's number, although Walter Payton was a lot better of a running back, in my opinion. Divide by 2. X is greater than 11. Go ahead and plot that, make yourself a little number line. It's open circle. If it has a line underneath, then it's closed circle, but this one's open. And you're graphing to the right. That's pretty much it. I mean, it's like solving an equation. So the most difficult kind of equation that you get is basically going to be the most difficult kind of inequality. One thing that I want to talk about really quickly, because this is going to be on our next lesson, is there are special types of inequalities, just like there are special types of equations. Most of the time an equation will have an answer, but sometimes it will be bizarre. There are inequalities that follow that same aspect. With that in mind, we're going to try it using this. Then we're going to finish off inequalities and see how it goes. But remember that everything doesn't always work out as perfectly as you think it does. So that's it. Have a good day for now. Goodbye.